Bulldog fans, welcome to another great edition of Hunker Down, Episode 2, Season 3. Can't wait. So
Oh
many
yeah,
fun things to talk about this week. Of course, I'm Jeremy York. He is Jake Skinner. How are you, bud?
doing good, man. It's been a good start to the week so far. A little hectic, but enjoyed having that 3-day weekend to really get us going. Needed it.
Yes, definitely so. I was dragging this morning through my usual daily routines, but found some energy because I remember we were going to come on here and talk Bulldogs tonight, and I'm excited.
Same, man. We're looking forward to. I was a good first week, I think, all around for football.
Yeah, except for our picks, and we'll get into those later because I did better on this show than I did on the tech show, but only by one game. And when you see what I did in this week, it was
Yeah,
not a good
I
week
glad you
to
wrote
use
those
my
down
picks.
because I completely forgot what I picked. So looking forward to this.
Oh yeah,
We'll cover
oh
that for
yeah,
sure at the end.
yeah. We definitely will. Plus, we'll add some more games in. But uh, what first things first? Um, what do we got up first? I'm looking at the sheet over here.
We're just gonna
Uh,
stick. Let's go ahead and start with a recap, man.
yeah,
Let's go ahead and hit the ground running. Georgia's 1-0. Obviously, we won 45 to 7. Georgia was top five. We're still top five now. We went up a spot to number four. Um,
okay.
I mean, honestly, do you see anything good yourself in this game?
I saw some things I like, some things they definitely got to work on, and I'm gonna make sure not to look at your note sheet while I'm saying this, so that I don't
Oh,
just
you feel
steal the
free.
thunder. But but no, I actually did see a good bit of the game because at some point it just become rinse and repeat. So I kind of move a little bit through that. I know you elaborate more on a lot of these things. As vanilla as it was, yes, Marshall is still Marshall, but I thought it was a good game for Gunner
Hmm.
to have his kind of feet get wet as far as this is now your team instead of you stepping in, something like that. I thought he did some good things. He proved he can move on his feet a little bit. And if you give him the room, he will take 7 or 8 yards from you every single time. I don't know why Marshall never found a way to stop that. I mean, he could have ran for 200 yards if he wanted
He
to,
could
but at
have.
some point he goes, "Oh yeah, I can throw it too. Here we go." He seemed to distribute it pretty good. He got some pretty good blocking up front. I mean, obviously, once again, where Georgia is and where Marshall is right now, they're not it's not a big gap, but where they are, those Marshall guys just couldn't do anything with that offensive line, and
That's true.
I thought the running game did some good stuff. And overall, I liked a lot of what I saw. There's some stuff they can button up, but they got a couple more weeks to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, blocking was good. The only thing I will say on that one is after Juan Gaston or Gaston, however you pronounce it, he went down early with an injury. We'll get to the injuries here in a little bit, but after he went down, the
Yeah.
line still played good, but it's the same thing I'd been hearing all fall where if he wasn't in there, the line wasn't as dominant. He's kind of driving that line right now.
He's the anchor. Yeah.
I mean, he's 6'7", 330, 350. Okay. He's very heavier than Kirby wants, but when you got a kid that's just mauling, you play him. So
Yeah.
we need him out there. Because I mean, I labeled this turning points, but there's really not that many because Georgia dominated from start to finish. We had a couple bad plays, a couple good ones. But Georgia looked explosive. Like that was something
Yeah.
like going into that, like Georgia actually has speed to burn at the receiver position this year. Zach Branch, 3 receptions, 95 yards, and I think it was a 40 or 37-yard touchdown
It
that
was
he
right
took on
at 40.
it was right at 40. It was a screen pass he took, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'll give Bobo credit. That was a beautiful design play call. It was simple, something I do on my video game all the time, but it worked. Let Branch have it. Gunner got the ball
Yeah.
to him perfectly. I mean, Gunner did play good. Someone described him to me as a righty Tebow wind up quarterback, and I went, son of a, that's right, but he doesn't have the Tebow fire, I think. But he's a right because
Um,
that is a righty just hitch in that throw.
he's almost got a little Philip Rivers anymore. It's just there's so much hits in the giddy up, but it works. So leave it alone.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit because he's got to be faster. See, Phillips, I mean, Philip, he could get it out
Yeah.
there.
Oh.
So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
um,
Phillips get. Yeah, he'll get it out of his hand quickly.
yeah, he was good. So, but Gunner did good. 2 touchdowns in the air, two rushing, 190 yards passing, 73 yards rushing on just those 10 carries. He actually, in the notes we put, he is the first quarterback since Stetson with multiple rushing touchdowns. Not hard when your last quarterback couldn't run last year. So, and then Dwight, nicknamed Peanut Phillips. Dwight Phillips Jr. had 60 rushing yards and a touchdown on 5 carries alone, including a wonderful break through the left where he bounced off a guy. He's only like 5'10", 170 something pounds, maybe up to 100, closer to 90 now. Good to see the weight on him because he's bouncing off dudes. So offense, I'd say offense looked good. They still got some stuff
Yeah,
to work on. I'd like to see the blocking get better. And um, the one thing I'll say they need to improve on this is the blocking has to get better, like I just said. But
yeah,
Gunnard was not keen on throwing across the middle half the game. He took a few of them, but it
yeah.
seemed like it was that short one. If he saw the linebacker,
He
he hitched and
he really
he's
likes the
missing them.
flats, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And he really liked the outside the hashes, out by the numbers and out by the
Right, and
sidelines
that's
line. And
his
that's fine.
game.
If yeah, and that's his game. And it may come down to is that he just doesn't have that rapport with Delp and some of those tight ends that run up the middle. So as
Yeah.
as the season progresses, maybe we see a little
Oh
more
yeah.
over the end.
I think we
But
will as we see the freshman receivers. I think
yeah,
Barbour and Elias Williams will be the two freshmen that you're going to look at tight end room. They might take over Lucky and Delp by the season's end because Delp's a good guy, but I don't think he's not put it all together. He's the best blocker. Your more talented pass catchers are
mm,
freshmen, and Jaden
yeah.
Reddle is still making some mistakes out there that he shouldn't be making in year 2, year 3. We'll see how that develops. But defensively, Georgia held Marshall to 207 yards. They only allowed three third down conversions out of 15 for less than 20% rate.
That was
Uh,
crazy because like
that's a great
part of
stat.
the way through the game when the announcers went, yeah, it's 3rd and 4 for Marshall, and they're still looking for their first third down conversion today, and I was like, that is insane right now because how far into the game I don't remember when it was. I wrote it down and I can't find the note, but that's impressive.
It is. It is. It helps when you got people, C.J. Allen, Gabe Harris, and Wilson out there
Yeah,
in the first and second layer of the defense, doing their job. Wilson had 7 tackles, and pretty much, I think him and Zach Branch's brother Zion actually led the team in tackles. Gabe Harris, number 0, just was a dude all game long. He plays so
yeah.
physical. I don't want him to tone it down, but I need him to watch himself as the season wears on because I don't want him burning out too quickly this year.
And I don't want him getting too fired up that when you play against the Alabamas, maybe the Auburns, but when you play against those tougher teams, the Texas, there's going to be guys that are going to try to fire you up so that you get
Hmm.
kicked out.
Exactly. I think he's got a level enough head because Kirby's good about
Yeah. Yeah.
instilling that in the guys. But he did good. And CJ Allen, number 3, didn't have like a lights out game, but he's your next pro linebacker for Georgia. He's smart. I think by season end, he will be creeping into that day 2 of the draft, that second rounder, unless he just
Yeah.
tests that well. I think he looked good. And there's nothing to say. Special teams held it down. They're good. Woodring and Miller. The Thunder from Down Under will be back at some point, but Miller definitely looked better than he did against Notre Dame last year.
Oh yeah. And I told you the kicker can hold his own. So that
Exactly. So they're good. I think we'll be fine. The biggest thing I have is Gunner. I need to see him throw the ball for 250 or more, not make mistakes, and
yeah.
still use his legs and be smart and make that throw over the middle. Just, I'm asking you, that linebacker's there, a little bit of touch and just get it across that middle on a route. And there were lots of big plays left on the field because we kept taking the checkdowns. You can live that way, but you can't live that way all year long. So
Yeah.
we'll be
Your name is
fine.
Gunner. We need you to gun the ball.
Exactly. He did that with his legs by running, but
He did.
that right there, defensively, the edge rushers setting an edge, they did good,
Mhm.
but they need to man up. We need someone to step up and really play that role that we need for us in the long run. And the defense left a couple of interceptions on the field that I noticed. There were a couple of batted passes or think
Yeah.
throws that we easily could have gotten to in position if we were paying attention. So it's just that stuff to clean up, but I think we'll be fine. Like I said, this is basically scrimmage number 3. Scrimmage number 4 starts on Saturday.
Yeah. And I would say, look, holding your opponent to 207 total yards
Hmm.
is really good. And it's nothing personal to Marshall because once again, I've seen Marshall up close in previous years, and they're a really good program. I don't want
Hmm.
them to take the fall on this one, but I expected more out of Georgia, and I expected them to hold them. Honestly, closer to 100 yards, but
They were
150 was
negative for a
probably
little
where I
bit.
had it. Yeah, it was, but it seemed like when they did get the chunks there, even in garbage time, you still can't have that. I don't care if you're a third stringer,
No.
fourth stringer, whatever. You got to prove that
Hmm.
you're a Georgia Bulldog and you're the top team. Because honestly, when I saw one versus two play this week, neither one of them are the top team right now. It's either Georgia or one of the other teams because it's
Agreed.
not those two right now.
No, it's not. Yeah, you're definitely not wrong on that one. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump us ahead.
Yeah,
Just to give you a little injury update. The biggest ones is Gaston. I'm never not gonna say that. Juan Gaston, mild ankle sprain. He might be out this week, but that's expected.
is it a high or a low?
I think it's a low if we're lucky,
Okay.
not a high ankle.
Okay. Low is definitely the better one. The high one is the one that can linger or take you out
That
for weeks
tightrope
at a time.
surgery.
Yes.
Yeah. Everett had a higher ankle sprain, but not a bad one. In
Okay.
practice, he missed the game, which is why you saw
Yeah.
Ellis Robinson start, which I was happy to see him and Ellis starting.
Sure.
That will be great. Then Ernest Green the third, he might miss this next game as well. They're just going to try to rest these
Mm.
guys for Tennessee. Um, Again, same thing. Keep blocking, be physical, and I love seeing Pugs out there. I think you're going to see Pugs by third quarter again. That dude has a fastball. I just need him to learn to layer it and make the right checks at the line. He looks like he could be a dude because I've heard that they don't feel they have to change the offense for him. He can run the
Mm.
same offense Gunner does. We saw him run. Georgia's got two quarterbacks that are on even keel, so I think Gunner just won that job out based on him getting the team in the right plays. I think Pugs might just need a little mental check before he's ready to go.
He might be the changeup, or if you just want to give Gunner a break for a minute,
You'll be
I could
fine.
see Kirby looking at Gunner and going, I'm not benching you. I just want you to come here a minute. I want to chat about what we're about to do, or we're about to install some new stuff right now, and I just want this to be in
Hmm.
on it. We're going to let him kind of play for a minute, but then I want you to go out and dominate.
Exactly. So we should see that, especially coming up against Austin Peay. I will say this. I saw a meme earlier that someone had painted on a sheet and hung at one of the frat houses in Athens that said Austin Peay's themselves, go dogs. Um, I couldn't, that one got me, but they're 1-0. They beat, was it Middle Tennessee State? MTSU? Yep.
Not a bad team either. Middle
Not a bad
Tennessee
team.
State
They
usually
are
brings it.
very physical. They could jump up and surprise us, but I don't think so. My biggest matchup is going to be line of scrimmage, just being physical. What about yours?
Yeah, yeah, and especially if Gaston or Gaston, I have no problem calling him Gaston. If he is iffy on the game or doesn't play as many snaps as he normally would, how does that line kind of anchor and hold together without their leader?
Exactly. So that should be it'll be fun to see. I think
Sure,
we'll get to predictions in a bit, but it's gonna be a good game coming up. There's not much to preview with Austin Peay. Just
not
it's a
really.
warm up game. So I guess you want to go ahead and break us out into the next section because this is where it's gonna be fun to talk.
The you talking about the national landscape here?
That national landscape because that was a very fun weekend.
Oh man, was it? Oh man, was it? Especially in this area of the state, we are close enough to a particular state line to where
I heard crying.
there are some people in their feelings here lately, and I get it, but the sun came up this morning, and I put my big boy pants on and got to work, and hopefully all of them did too.
I'm hoping so because Nick Saban was not rising with the sun back into Tuscaloosa.
Nick Saban was glad that he's on TV. Is probably what he was.
He watched
Um,
that. It's the same thing that he's mentioned happened before. He
yeah,
didn't, this generation and the culture of Alabama, even under him, was shifting. Um, and you saw it. I mean,
yeah,
Alabama got bullied up front. They got bullied every place. The players looked out of it. The third quarter came around. The players are laughing, goofing off. Like no one was taking it serious because like, oh, whatever. I'm getting paid, which is the downfall to what we all thought about this game with the
sure,
NIL. That may not be it, but uh, FSU was ready to win. Alabama thought they could win.
yeah. Yeah, and I would say that it took them an extra year, but FSU finally got mad about being snubbed a couple years ago. And instead of not showing up to a bowl game, they showed up to the closest thing to a regular season bowl game you could and showed
Agreed.
out.
Agreed. So that was a good one. FSU does look like a sneaky good team. I won't say I need to see what they could do.
Yeah,
Again,
let's
this is
it's
if
one
this was
game and
Nick
this was
Saban's
just week
Bama,
one.
yeah, if this was Nick Saban's Bama, I'd be like, now I'm paying attention. This being DeBoer's,
Oh
DeBoer looked
yeah,
out of it. I don't think this is your daddy's Alabama. This is ain't Daddy Saban's Bama. This is the new age Bama. We're back to the Mike
yeah,
Price and the other coaches we had during the 90s out there. This could be a rough patch for Bama fans because let me just tell you, DeBoer's buyout clause, I don't think you could afford it with NIL. It's like 30, 40 million.
yeah. Because I've spent a little bit of time in the state of Alabama, and I don't think there's that much oil in that state. So I I don't think you're going to buy him out anytime soon.
I don't think you did. So, um, another team that did not look good, and I was texting you, Arch Manning's Texas. I watched that game, and I can tell you now, it is one game. I'm not going to knock
Sure,
it. It's one game. Gunner could have had the worst game in the world, and it's one game. I'm not saying that,
sure.
but I didn't expect him to. But Arch did not look like his uncles. No one expects him to play like his uncles. But I will say
Yeah,
he looked timid, and he's played
yeah.
before. He started last year. He played Mississippi State and blew them out. The problem is, I am just saying, when he was in the game against Georgia last year, he struggled. He's playing big teams, he struggles.
Yeah,
It's the same thing I said. Arch, his rating, his high school ranking and all this stuff might have been a little overblown because of that last name. And there's time
I
to
could
turn it around, but
I
you're
could
in
say
year
that
three,
about a few local kids too.
right?
That
You're
I think that
like,
the hype is a little bigger than where they are.
hmm yeah, it is. It has to be because as good as he can be, and he might need more time. I expected more against an Ohio State team. I expected a lot more, at least
And they did,
making
and
plays.
Ohio State didn't play all that well either. They
They did
played
not.
okay. They played better than Texas, and that's why they won. That's why I'm
They
saying that neither
exactly.
Texas nor Ohio State are the top teams. It's somebody other than them. It might be Georgia. It might be one of these other teams. But you know what I think Arch's problem was? Why he looked timid?
What was that?
The Micah Parsons trade. Because it started to sink in that his options, if he goes pro this year, is Jimmy Haslam in the Browns or Jerry Jones in the Cowboys. And he's like, can I get a doctorate degree? Can I be an assistant? Can I be the coach next year? I don't want to go pro. And I
No,
kind of can't blame him. And that's coming from a Cowboys fan. It's I don't know that I'd want to be the quarterback of that team right now. And
no.
he's just I think the hype got to him that he's supposedly going to be the top quarterback out, and all this has been talked about, and this is where his uncles need to go. You're still in college.
hmm
Do your college thing. When you're done with your college, we can do the pro thing, but we need you to do
Yeah,
the college thing.
yeah. I think the moment was a little bit too bright for him this week. He's got time to
I
turn it
agree.
around. I believe he can turn it around. I definitely think that looking at it, we'll get to it in a minute, but Texas is going to struggle until the light comes on, and it doesn't look like
Yep.
Sark trusted him because the play calling was very timid
I agree.
against
It was a
Ohio
weird
State.
play call.
So that tells me that there's something going on there for sure. Um, but again, Bama looks like a shell of themselves. They're very soft. They look like they can get bullied this year.
Yeah, there's only
Um,
one word to describe them, and I'm going to spell it out. SAWFT. Soft.
soft. They're
They are
soft.
soft.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this quick take with you, but I'm
Yep.
gonna go and call it now. Bama's gonna end up with a 3 to 4 loss season this year.
I say at least 2 to 3. Yeah, I'm right there at
Yep.
three. Three makes a lot of sense, and that's not. I mean, for one, one's out of the way. But even if they had won this week, I would say they might be
hmm
a 2 or 3 team loss team.
Right. And they were last year because DeBoer is 2-5 away from Tuscaloosa already in his career,
That's a
I
terrible
believe.
number.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna look this up real quickly because we've got to. If you want to go ahead and hit us to the next section, I'll.
And like you said, I mean, it's way too early. I don't think Arch is going to be the Heisman anyway, but he's going to kind of drop down a little bit. He'll stick around just because of his name, and you want that kind of star power at the top five. But
Right.
the
Real
Heisman's going
quick,
to be one of the
back
other
to
guys.
that. Last year, Alabama lost on the road to Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and then lost to Michigan in a bowl game in a neutral site. DeBoer cannot win big road games as of right now at Georgia because
Yeah.
all their big game like they struggled to beat Auburn last year. So It's going to be interesting to see what they can do. They're like you said, soft, and as far as the Heisman race, like you were just talking, I, I don't think week one, there's no one separate themselves. No one looked like a true contender.
No.
The quarterbacks that are supposed to be in this next class that are senior, no one except Carson Beck looked that great, and even Carson relied on a couple of lucky plays from his guys. Again, he didn't look like he looked like a better quarterback than he did last year because guess what? His receivers can catch,
And his offensive coordinator actually likes him.
and his coordinator likes him. They don't hate each other. But
And
that being
it
said,
matters.
I had someone ask me this the other day. They were asking
Hmm.
if Gunner's breakout dual threat performance against Marshall, should Georgia lean into his legs more often, or does running him risk too many injuries before SEC play heats up, or even before the meat of the schedule? What are your thoughts?
Yes.
I like that answer.
No, it's I agree that granted he did it against Marshall and they like I said, they just refused to ever put somebody in front of him, so he could have ran for 200 if he wanted to. He had
Hmm.
those lanes all day, but it's one of those maybe sprinkle a couple more of those
Oh yeah.
design run plays in, but at the risk of, I mean, I don't know, your backup's pretty good, but I don't want to lose a quarterback at all.
Mm-mm.
Obviously watch the injury risk, but I think you need to sprinkle a little bit in so that when those tougher opponents do start lining up, they have to respect it, and it will open up more things.
Agreed. Yeah, I think seeing him do what he did is promising. It's back to what Stetson did because Stetson was a change of pace quarterback because he could throw the ball. He could do everything you needed him to that first year. Second year, he took it to a new level. Having a running threat wins in this game these days. You can't just
Yes.
you can't be like Peyton
Nope.
throwing or even
Nope.
Brady in college. You can do it in the pros,
No.
but you can't do it
Mm-hmm.
at the college level.
Mm-mm.
That we'll see what happens on that one, but I agree. But I think they should lean into his legs more when SEC play heats up because teams are going to be ready
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and don't let him take too many hits, but by showing your hand a little early, you're giving a little teaser, it's gonna shift the play. All of a sudden, those
Mm-hmm.
running backs are gonna start having lanes because guess what? No one expected him to do it. That's why they got ate up
Nope.
and he could take off. You're gonna see it. Tennessee, Bama, everyone else, they're gonna fall
Sure.
for it, and when they fall for his legs, someone else is taking it on the corner, or he's gonna hold on to it and bust on the seam for 50.
Yeah.
Call it. I'm calling it now. He's gonna have at least a 45-yard run at some point for a touchdown.
Probably.
But yeah, I think that'll be fun. And I mean, we'll go ahead and jump to it. What you think the score is going to end up being this coming week against Austin Peay?
How many did Austin Peay score last week? Do we know?
Uh, yeah, let me pull that up here.
I'm just going to randomly say 24. I think it's
Last
higher, but
week they scored 34.
okay.
Their
Okay.
quarterback was
Again,
11 of
Middle
20,
Tennessee.
11 of
Okay.
20 with two touchdowns, 142 yards. They kind of had to rely on the run game some more. Definitely, yeah, they only had 35 yards with one guy, so.
Here's the problem is once again, I don't think Kirby has it out for Austin Peay. I don't think
Mm-mm.
he has any revenge in mind or nothing. Has nothing against them, so he doesn't want to run up the score. But
He's not gonna be afraid to drop 50 if he needs to because he wants
and
his backups to score.
they are in a situation where if they don't score at least 40, they're going to drop even with a win because that's just how this committee looks at it. That if Georgia and some of the other middle tier powerhouses as they consider them, that Georgia has to over impress before they get moved up. So if they don't score at least 40, 41 on
Hmm.
Austin Peay, then I feel like they could drop to fifth even if they win. So I'm gonna say he's gonna be right in that spot. I'm gonna say like 41-17, something like that.
I'm going
I
with
think that's close to what I said
45
last
to,
week.
I'm gonna go something similar, but I'm gonna say 45 to 3. I think Georgia's gonna be tougher on defense this week.
I said 45-3.
Hmm.
45-3. I said 41 to what, a 17. I
Yep.
don't know if they get 17. I don't think
I
they
doubt
may
they
not.
will.
They might get 13. In fact, I'm gonna change it now. It's
So
41-13.
there you go. That's what I said last week. I think you had that too.
Yeah.
So I'll say this week's schedule is not a pretty one. It's a lot of cupcakes. It's cupcake week.
Well, before we get into that, let me recap last week real quick. And
Oh
actually,
yeah.
I was worse on this show than Georgia Tech. Um, or was I? I don't know. I said 41-13. You said 41-13. It was 45-7. We were pretty close as far as that.
I'm good with that.
Um, you got Ohio State, where I said Texas going to win. So, but we both missed Bama. I missed Clemson, and you took LSU. And do we need to? Poor Bill last night. We'll
I
just
was
say it
about
that.
to bring that up. Yeah,
Yeah. So you finished 2-3 on the week, and I finished 1-4 because I actually took TCU. Um, Miami did us no favors. FSU did us no favors, and I was just on the wrong side of the others. So let's get into this real quick because we got to talk about the gentleman's wager too, so that people know what's going on.
yes. All right. So I kind of picked a couple of games for us. Ole Miss versus Kentucky for the SEC matchups. We're
Hmm.
going to pick two to three of them each week going forward. Give me Ole Miss just because I think Ole Miss is. I mean, I'm not going to go against Lane Kiffin in a game like this, especially with Kentucky not being fully settled. Is this as a
Uh huh.
team right now?
There we go. Find something right on. You're taking who?
I took Ole Miss.
You're taking Ole Miss. Um, yeah, Ole Miss looked pretty good this week. Yeah, they're probably going to beat Kentucky. If this was later in the year, I think it'd be a better game. But
Could be.
right now, I think Kentucky is a little slow out of the gate, and I think Ole Miss is probably going to get them.
Agreed. Second game we got up in the conference because, like I said, there's not a ton.
No.
East Tennessee State University, one of those letter universities, as you call them,
Hmm. Yep.
versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Give me Tennessee in a landslide.
Yeah. Yeah. Go. Let's go Rocky Top.
Yeah, there will be no crying in Rocky Top this next week.
Oh, there will, but it'd be tears of joy.
Tears of joy, yes. And the third game, I couldn't pass this one up just because of the history. ULM, Louisiana Monroe against Bama in Tuscaloosa.
Oh,
I'm going to take Bama, but I'm going to take them about like 3 points this week. Truthfully, I think it's going to be close. Now, Bama could turn this around, but I think this is where you're going to find out if Bama struggles again, it the writing is on the wall.
do we see what I wrote right there?
I
Give me
see that.
ULM.
I want to pick
Give me
them, but I'm going to
ULM.
go with Bama on a close one. Or
I would normally agree, but I don't know. I'm just
should
gonna
I go with the
help
Lee
drown them
Corso?
in the sea of sorrows here.
I just go with the Lee Corso. They win it. Where's my? I have a pencil. Hold on. They win it on a last second field goal. But all right,
I think they lose by 7-10.
7 to 10. I could see that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of big
Um.
games this week. I've got
Yeah.
one of them
Sure.
listed. I have a second one for you as well.
Okay.
Um, you're Michigan. So we'll go with this one. You're Michigan Wolverines, number 15. Play
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. This is a good one.
Who you got?
Um. I'm gonna take my Wolverines, obviously, but not in a biased way. I feel like they looked good enough in week one. Once again, they were pretty vanilla on what they did, but they look like they're right where they were last year, about midway through. It seems like about where they regressed to. They're about midway through right now. Oklahoma's good, but I like playing them early because those running backs are not warmed up yet.
Yeah, I see that. I'll take Oklahoma in this one just to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Um, I feel like it's going to be a good game either way. There's nothing really you can say about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's early season. I think this will be a test of who's tough and who can survive the rest of the season. Because if anyone is close to being SEC level with physicality, I will give Michigan that hand that they are physical enough to
Yeah.
hang in the
Yeah.
SEC. Maybe not for 9 games, but they could hang for a while. So I'll give them that credit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take Oklahoma in this one just to play that one.
Okay.
The next game I
What was the
picked
last
it
game?
next. Oh, I've got. Or we'll do two brief ones because that's
Okay.
just sort of a good one. North Carolina and Charlotte. I'll take North Carolina because I think they found a better quarterback in Max Johnson.
Okay.
I think they'll be. I think they can turn around because Max Johnson looks more like a pro quarterback than their other guy that got injured. I don't even know if he'll be playing or not.
I will say, Woo, give me the Queen City. Give me Charlotte because that's another
That would
team
be
I've seen
wild.
up close. Charlotte is feisty. That's the way
They are
that team
feisty.
plays. It's feisty. So
That'll be a fun
Bill
matchup.
might be 0-2.
He might be 0-2. And the other one I was going to hit you real quick before we hit our gentleman's agreement.
Yep,
I got this. What about the good old Cy-Hawk Trophy going up for grabs between Iowa and Iowa State?
that might be the best game of the entire week. I think they're both 1-0, or
Uh,
one of them 2-0.
Iowa State's 2-0. Yeah.
One of them 2-0. One of them played week 0.
Hmm.
Man, I predicted this on some Facebook group I'm on. What did I say? I think I said give me the Iowa Hawkeyes. I think I like Iowa in this one.
I could
I
see
wish
that.
I wish they wouldn't play this early in the year. This would be a great like either bowl game or right before
Yeah,
bowl game.
it
But
could, but I see why they play it now. You got to have
I
something
don't know.
pre early.
Yeah, I'll just take Iowa.
I'll take Iowa State. I'm looking at the stats, and they only had 44 yards. They were very pedestrian on offense yet again. And
Mm-hmm.
that defense for Iowa State, they look better.
Mm.
I'll take them because they whooped up on South Dakota. They found something in themselves against Kansas State. And for example, Iowa played Albany of New York, and they still only had 44 yards passing that their quarterback had that game.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna say it
That's
was just a
why,
weird matchup for them, and that I think they're gonna rebound.
yeah, I'm actually looking this up. Yes, they they really did only team stats really did only have 9 of 16 passing for 48 yards, and but they ran the ball for 310. So they're physical in running. They're just not going to score up on that one. But we got 2 minutes left, good sir. Hit us with the gentleman's agreement.
Go ahead.
I
Explain the parameters because on each show I let each of the co-hosts pick the number, and I either went high or
okay.
low on it.
Okay. I said Georgia at most would have 2 losses. I said no more than 2 losses.
You said two
Um,
SEC,
two
right?
SEC at most. Yes.
Okay.
I just because Auburn in junior hair, as they call it, is spooky. My dad always and he's listening to this. He always says they have a lucky horseshoe up there every year, especially there. So
Nose, up their nose.
up their nose. Sorry, up their
Yep,
nose. That's what I was trying to
up their
say.
nose hole. Yep.
So we'll see. I don't. I truly don't see 2 losses for Georgia unless something happens to Gunner potentially, or something stupid. But that's what I'm saying, and I'll go ahead and hit you with if I were to lose this bet on an episode to end the year, I will be wearing that gaudy orange yellow Tennessee shirt that
Which is
my
fine because
girlfriend's parents lovingly bought me for Christmas last year.
they sound like great people. They really do.
They are, hey, at least they made her wear a Georgia one too. So
Hey, that's true. And
she is giving me a dirty look right now, though. I want you to know.
some of the best looks you can get, honestly, are the dirty ones.
That is true.
And then I said I'm actually going to take the over. So if they actually lose more than two, um, is when I win the bet, right? And
Yes.
if they win 2-1 or 0, then you will unfortunately see Ohio State on this, and that's never a good thing.
No.
But it's going to be a fun bet. We like to do fun things like that. Um, I think other than that, I think we pretty much got through everything, didn't we?
Yeah, we actually did it in record time too. I think us having a having a little bit of a script actually helped. If we didn't ramble as much, there was no
No,
screaming, gnashing of
no, we
teeth.
definitely didn't. But with 10 seconds to go, he's Jake Skinner. I'm Jeremy York. Hi to Tia. And we will see you guys next week. Deuces, gooses.
Go dogs.